Hello, welcome back. I'm Darren, and today we are in Cyberpunk. Now, this time we are on the RTX 4080 with the 13700K. Now, I did actually take note this time because I didn't actually realise that even launching OBS takes some performance. I suppose background task, it's going to happen. So, where we're stood now, we were at about 82 before I started recording, so we have lost about 8 FPS by running the internal capture. I mean, it is a relatively rough in term of performance. We are running a internal 4K capture. It is at quite high quality. Well, it's a very high quality, so probably too high quality to upload to YouTube, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out one day. So kind of bear that in mind. Think of about 8 FPS more than what we are, and it was the same with the AMD system yesterday. Like I said, that was also running an internal capture. I don't think it was quite losing quite as much as this, but I mean, I literally just think it could be anywhere between 1 and 10. I've not seen it any more than 10. But yeah, there's definitely a performance loss to be had. So we are back by this real happy dude who seems to not like me very much. So where are we at? We are at DLS. Okay, let's go to video. So we're at 4K. And we are at DLSS quality. Now, we have all the ray tracing on. We have this turned off as we did with the AMD system yesterday. But we do have everything set to as high as it can go here. Whereas I think on the AMD system we had to turn a few things down to high. I think we were there. And then there's a couple of other things that we turned down to high. So we are running slightly higher settings than what we were on that system, and we've got a little bit of extra performance to go with it. So what we will do is basically see where we can go, what we're happy with, what we're not happy with. I haven't been in here yet, so I haven't particularly adjusted anything, but I mean, this is a very good looking image. Character models are holding up extremely well. Unfortunately, the nighttime rain environment couldn't have been worse for me to probably be in this situation, but never mind. So everything looks extremely sweet. We'll take a walk around, and then we will see what we can do. Fair, it's not actually that bad, this monitor. I thought this monitor had probably, I mean, it doesn't have obviously the black levels of the OLED. They're not horrendous. It's actually very bright on the details, like the signs and stuff. It's actually not as bad as what I thought. So, ooh, kid with spooky eye. Freaky. So, let's go with, let's see what we can do. Well, I think we can turn on, because we do have a bit of advantage in this game, which is frame gen, but I kind of said it before and I'll say it again, frame gen is you can't take frame gen as its entirety. So if you're getting 120 FPS using frame gen, you're not getting 120 FPS. Now, frame gen is a lot better than like fluid motion frames that I don't particularly rate that well. Whereas AMD frame generation and NVIDIA frame generation I think are very good. And it basically comes down to the smoothness and the latency that you get from it. Obviously, if it adds a ton of latency, then you're never getting the same feeling as what you're getting if you are at that. You know, if you're not going to get 120 FPS and have a 30 millisecond latency. That just doesn't feel right. And probably, I think I've noticed actually in the last couple of days, I forgot to mention it in that video today, but I think NVIDIA Reflex has a lot to play in this, because I have noticed that with AMD frame generation, I'm fine playing on controller, but as soon as I try to play with mouse, it feels terrible. I don't get that feeling with NVIDIA, and I think a lot of that is down to reflex. So I think Anti-Lag Plus has a lot to, well, probably was a big consideration with AMD frame generation, and obviously Anti-Lag Plus went to shit for a while. I've seen obviously they're managing to hopefully get that sorted. It seems to have been implemented in a couple of games, so that might be a bit of a game changer when it comes to me being able to use mouse. Time will tell how it will get adopted, what games it's going to go in. I'm not sure, but it would be handy to actually, even if it was in like Grey Zone Warfare or even The First Descendant. Those are two games that I'll play using frame generation, and I'll play on keyboard and mouse on the NVIDIA system, and they're two games that I can't play on the keyboard and mouse on the AMD system, which is a shame, because with the AMD frame generation it does add that extra bit of performance, but it feels terrible on mouse. So hopefully that will be something that'll get sorted. But anyway, let's not talk too much about the AMD system. It's hard not to obviously, kind of compare, because what else do you do if you're not comparing? But I try not to. Well, I don't want to. I just feel like it's hard not to. So I'm going to try my best not to. So let's go up to Psycho, see where that takes us. So that's dropped us down to about 50. Okay, so we would be probably high 50s if we weren't doing the screen capture, which is pretty much how I remember playing this game, because I generally play at either these settings with frame gen. Obviously it's a lot closer to 60 if I'm not screen capture. And this looks very good. Like, that lighting is very good. That lighting is actually really impressive, to say that this isn't on an OLED. I'm actually quite surprised. I don't know, maybe I got a bit carried away with how good I thought OLED was. I'm not saying it's bad. And obviously OLED, you do get those extremely deep blacks. But that lighting there is, to me anyway, obviously it won't come across in YouTube, but it's actually very punchy, which is quite surprising. So we have obviously the choice of, in fact, I'll tell you what we can do. We can go to, if we want to keep everything cranked, we can try balanced. See how that fares. And where did that get us? So that gave us 60. It would be probably a bit closer to 70. Wasn't actually a huge performance gain, really, was it? But let's have a look. This weather is the absolute worst for it. I mean, the one impressive thing is we're not losing. We're definitely not losing rain. Or if we are, we have a lot of rain still left to have. Character models look insane still. I'd say it's softening the image, but I don't know if it actually really did. Everything still looks extremely crisp and clean. Which is extremely impressive. To be fair, so let's crank on. Let's have a look what frame gen. I'd imagine frame gen does soften it a bit, but we'll go with it. Let's have a look. So I think this is generally at 4K how I play this game. Pretty much everything cranked, ray tracing, psycho. Now you can, if you want, I can go two ways with this now, because this, let's have a look. This wasn't the best. We might somehow make it through the dark and into the day if we're lucky and this recording doesn't go on forever. Just to probably check out some kind of more distant details. We do get in movement, but it's raining, that's the problem. This rain is a nightmare. Reflections look insane. I mean, all of these details are off the scale. It has to be said. I don't even know what DLSS implementation they have. But at 4K, you do get options that you don't get at 1440p. And going to balanced is definitely one of them. Everything just holds up so well. So we can drop back to quality and just check it out. I mean, DLSS quality is as good as native at 4K. So we can keep frame gen on. It will be fine. I'm on controller on this game, and it's probably a bit sharper. I mean,
yo, where you going?
I'll be honest, I'd probably play it like this. It's very hard to tell. This is definitely a bit sharper. I do like a sharp image. I think that basically comes down to, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Obviously you have the option in, you have a sharpness scale here. For some reason that was set to 95, I don't know why, I don't know if I did that. I don't know if that's just standard, but I dropped it back to 70. And that, for me, for my taste, looked good. So if you drop to balanced, you can probably push that up a little bit if it suits you, and then vice versa. If you find this too sharp, you could drop it back a bit more. I think it looks very good. It is quite sharp to the forefront, but then it retains that sharpness, like those distant details over. No, don't do that. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Let me get my gun out. That's what I wanted to do, because I wanted to push like that. I love that effect of those car lamps in the distance. The way they kind of glow to that kind of realistic, that's just awesome. And how detailed it is back there. So I'd probably play at this. We would be around about 80. And 80 FPS on this is well playable, especially at this level of everything maxed at... Oh, is she angry? She just killed that. Is she going on like a killing rampage down there? Really? What happened? There's definitely some fucked up people in the world of Cyberpunk. But this looks absolutely incredible. Off the absolute scale. You have to play this game at 4K. I don't think there's a way around it. It's better on the AMD card, even if you don't bother with ray tracing. It's just better. It's so clean. I think... see, there's times when I think, okay, this game's starting to look dated. But at the same time, it is obviously a futuristic world. Like those fences, look how well those fences hold up. You know, it is a futuristic world, so maybe I'm just comparing, you know, the kind of the art style of it with, like, you know, kind of the world that we live in. So kind of this stuff I think looks quite blocky and a little bit strange, but maybe that's just the art style they've gone for. Stuff like this I think looks a little bit dated and a little bit lacking, but you don't know if that's just intentionally like that, because then you can get to other things and it's like, well, that looks like super detailed, so who knows. They tend to put a lot of detail into, you know, this type of stuff. And then the worktop and the stand look a little bit. And then this is like hugely detailed. The graffiti on there looks hugely detailed, but the actual... it's so hard to say. You don't know what's intentional and what's not. Because the billboards are like off the scale in this game. But I'd probably be playing it like this. Now we can, like, realistically, let's be honest, without bullshitting, we can play path tracing if we want. Are we going to get the best experience out of it? No. Because unfortunately, every time something like that becomes implemented, it's designed around a 4090, and this isn't a 4090. But we can do it. Or we can have a look anyway. So we're definitely going to have to, we need everything available to us, so we're going to have to go to balanced. We're going to have to leave frame generation on. It might feel a bit janky, I don't know. And then, where are we? Path tracing. Let's go. So, where are we? 70. The lucky thing is, frame gen feels fine on a controller at this. I don't know what it drops to without it. Let's have a look. I mean, remember, I am screen capturing. So we can add an extra 8 FPS on top of that. I can't even remember what we were. We can add ray reconstruction. I'm not overly a fan of it. Let's turn frame gen off. Let's have a look. Where were we? So we're around 40 without it. And frame gen does add. It is a positive, because this feels, well, you can see in the screen, it's a bit janky. If I wasn't screen capturing, we're 42, 43, we would be 50. So, let's put it back on again. I don't think it's something that you should start losing anything else for. I'm just looking at my reticle, which stays very good. So, is it playable? Yes. Do I want to? I mean, it does change the lighting quite dramatically. But I don't know if I want to do it. Let's have a look. So if we go back to quality and turn path tracing off. Everything else should stay on. It changes the lighting drastically from dark to very lit up. But I tell you what, RT Psycho isn't a bad look. I don't know. If I was on a 4090, would I run it? Probably. It's a very different look. Let's just go there without changing the upscale. I know it's going to run like shit, but we're looking in a straight line anyway. It's definitely a more realistic look. I mean, you can't argue where they're going with it. But it's a push. I don't think we want to play it. It's definitely, frame gen is definitely feeling a bit janky here because I'm probably at 30. It's playable if you wanted to. I don't know if I want to. It's a definite different look, isn't it? I think it's a bit of a Marmite one. You either like it or you don't. It's so different. It's like lit up and then complete darkness. But it's probably should, like, it makes sense that it'll be lit up because when you look at the amount of lighting in this picture, it shouldn't be this dark. So it's kind of lighting that does make sense. At the same time, this doesn't look, this looks, obviously all of these signposts and everything now stand out more when you don't have path tracing enabled. So I'm not against either look, to be honest. But what I will say is it's damn impressive. Very impressive. It's actually a hot day today. It's pushing my GPU warmer than it normally goes. It's RT. It's cooking the 4080. So, like I said, we'd be kind of mid-80s now. And as far as it goes, I think I'd probably rather just play this. I don't know. You could change. It's definitely playable. What the hell is that? What is that? Is that a guy or I don't know. Was it a guy? Did he have a oh, I'm not even going there. I'm not even going to go there. What about you? You're a guy. Who knows? This is all you're going to be doing in GTA 6. Running around trying to figure out who's a man and who's a woman. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. But, no, this looks insane. We're just not losing anything. Details are insane. Character models are off the scale. You right, dude? Look at me. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see your face, dude. There's actually really good character models in this game. Some of them are a bit janky. Some of them are really good. Got a huge stutter then. Hopefully I didn't just crash my recording. Oh. I've never noticed those tell you to walk. That's impressive. So, I think your choices are ray tracing, psycho, everything else cranked at DLSS quality, or wrong one again, or going to balanced and then thrown on path tracing and not having particularly great performance but doable. I don't know, there's some ghosting there though. That person definitely has a bit of ghosting. So does that person. What happens if I throw on ray reconstruction? Oh, it's on. That's why I've got some ghosting then, I'm going to assume. You still ghosting? No, you're not ghosting anymore. I'm not sure. It's one of those things. They've only just come up with it. It's going to have a teething period. It does actually add a fair bit of performance though, doesn't it? I think they did say the higher level of ray tracing you use, it can actually give you a bit of a performance gain. It clearly does. I mean, this stuff does kind of look awesome, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's gone a little bit of more low res now. Something doesn't quite look as good. I think this image quality holds up better without it. So it's one of those, can you do it? Yes. Do you want to? Probably not. Not for me anyway. I think I'm happy to play it RT Psycho. And enjoy a kind of cleaner image. Because the image does look insane. I ain't ever going back to 1440p. No one's going to make me. I don't care. I'll buy a fucking 5090. I'll buy two. I don't know. SLI is going to make a comeback. Yeah, this is what I'm playing it at. Without recording, this is absolutely decent performance and an insane looking image. So I'm gonna call it there. Let me know what you think. What would you play it at? I'm pretty sure some people might want to push path tracing, which is totally fine. Ooh, titties. But for me, I don't know. I think the actual overall image quality holds up better like this, at the kind of detriment of the lighting that you do get with path tracing. But I don't know. That to me, that still picture there looks absolutely insane. So I think this is where I'm kind of at with this at 4K. 4K is asking a lot, let's be honest. 4K, everything at Ultra or Psycho. So I'm happy with this. This is good. There's no kind of nastiness, there's no ghosting. Everything looks good to me. Aliasing is, you can see all those fence posts and stuff, absolutely spot on. Obviously we walked past that fence before and it held up absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to call it there. If you liked, awesome, give me a like, and I will catch you in the next one.